Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Dragon Age. We're here in Orzammar, the first time here. We've explored the commons a little bit, mostly all of it, but I did forget one place over here that Dagna, that's her name, right? Dagna? Yeah, is standing outside of. And it's a shop, Jannar Armorers. So we're gonna go in here, talk to him, see what he's got for sale.
Welcome to Jannar Family Armorers. I must say, you look like our type of people. Looking for a new set of mail? At Jannar's, we have everything from leather to platinum.
You know anything about what's happening with the king?
I stay out of politics. It's not good for a smith to get the attention of those who grant vendors licenses.
Smart man.
Lord Harrowmont's a fair man. My father did business with him, and he always paid on time. But the Idukans have served us well. If it is the ancestors' wisdom to keep them on the throne, I cannot object.
Are you part of the Smith cast?
Aye, for 100 generations. My father made his name by inventing a fall and tacit, which were integrated into the cuirass. But,
Cuirass.
I'm guessing by your face, you're not a smith yourself.
Can I see what you have in store?
Of course. Keep in mind, we also take items on trade.
I'll keep that in mind. Okay, what do we got here? A Dragonthorn crossbow. Very nice, very nice. Dwarven heavy armor. Nothing unique, just dwarven, really high quality dwarven gear. And that's it. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to ask about
stranger.
your daughter.
Here for armor or conversation?
Jannar, do you have a daughter named Dagna?
Aye. Has she been bothering you? Gets a whiff of surface stink and she's like a cave tick. Won't let go.
No, she hasn't been any bother.
Oh, good. Well, let me know if she does trouble you any.
Sure. I'd like to help her study with the mages.
Do you even know what that means? If Dagna goes to the surface, she forfeits her caste. She'll never be able to marry or work in Orzammar again. Dwarves don't do magic. Dagna knows that. It's just a childhood fantasy that dies hard. Please, if you see her, send her back and let me talk some sense into her.
That's a tricky thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do about her yet. Like, I wish I had a better sense of how old she was. I mean, if she's an adult, then it's her decision, right? I think she's an adult. I don't know. Let's go into the Diamond Quarter. But I guess there wouldn't be any harm in, like, letting her hear her father out again. Like, her father should know her a lot better than I know her. Hey, Helmi. We met somebody related to you.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
Legion of the Dead sighted battling Darkspawn near Orzammar. They have no orders while throne stands empty. Make Harrowmont your king now.
Little propaganda. Diamond Mall. This is Harrowmont's estate. Yeah, we can see him first. Why not? We're gonna talk to both of them, if we can. See what we got going on. Hello, Dulin.
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Forrender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
Checking my recording real quick. Okay, we're good. I would like to speak with Lord Harrowmont.
In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you.
How can I prove I'm not working for Balin?
That's a generous offer. If you mean it, you might attend the proving today. The Deshers take it very seriously. And unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down.
Do you want me to find out why your fighters dropped out?
That would be enlightening. Though I hope you won't pry too deeply into things they don't wish revealed. If you wish to show your loyalty, enter the proving as his lordship's champion. With your order's reputation, I've no doubt the ancestors would favor your arm.
And this is to be your king. One who cannot keep his own men from running like frightened children.
Lord Harrowmont does not use threats or intimidation to motivate his men. He leads by example.
Ah, I see. So it's his example they follow as they cower from this Prince Balin.
How dare you slander Lord Harrowmont?
Why should we ally ourselves with someone too scared even to grant us an audience?
I mean, he does. I mean, it's not an entirely bad point, to be honest. I do see what you mean.
Were I you, I would seek a stronger king than this Harrowmont.
Surely you don't mean Balin.
Balin does seem strong, but also cruel. Yeah, I will not help him.
Have it your way.
Then you agree to fight in Harrowmont's name. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
Yeah, I wish I could have said this earlier. I don't want to start picking sides.
Then I'm afraid your only choice is to wait until there's a winner. Lord Harrowmont cannot risk his life working with someone of unproven loyalties. If you change your mind, let me know. The proving is this afternoon, and Lord Harrowmont could certainly use you on his side.
Okay, Zevran. I feel like I was pretty diplomatic with that, Zevran. Okay, whatever. Let's check out here. Any loot? Oh, yeah.
Perhaps I could have a try at that.
Perhaps you could have a try, but you suck. How do we get in there? Oh, we can just walk through this. Yeah, I gotta scroll there. Okay. We able to change parties in here? No. What is this scroll? Scroll? There we go.
And I'm off.
The letter from King Indrin. My Lord Harrowmont, my guilt weighs heavily on me, and I know now that I was a fool. Only a fool would cut out his own heart and burn it for the sake of appearance. I allowed the assembly to send my child to exile and death because I feared an inquiry into Trian's murder would taint our house with scandal. You've been my rock and my shield these long months, and for that I thank you. But I must ask for one thing more. I wish to discover if my child survived. Even the smallest trace will set my mind at ease. Send your men, your scouts, anyone who will go. Balin thinks I'm mad. He says that if word spread of my wish, our house will be undone. He doesn't know that Aeducan is already lost. I destroyed us when I sacrificed what was most precious. Please, Pyro, help me. Help me. I come to you not as a king, but as a father. Okay. Hello. You have a name.
You must be under great strain with the blight upon the land. I will pray to the stone for you.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. Nope, I feel sneeze coming on. Okay. Lady Dace.
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Ah, it's you again, Narav.
I hope you'll support Lord Harrowmont.
Orzammar
Grey
Crier.
Warden arrives in Orzammar, most likely to pay respects to the rightful king, Prince Balin.
Most likely, yeah. Okay. Nothing else over here. We got Chamber of the Assembly. Alright, there's Vartag.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartak Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring?
You know who I am?
It would be hard not to notice the Grey Warden and her eclectic entourage. I hear you seek the aid of Orzammar's finest.
I need aid against the Blight.
Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
Can I talk to Balin?
You must understand, Harrowmont hides behind his good reputation while sending spies and assassins. Balin can't know who to trust. It's been like a knife in the heart for Balin to see so many of his father's men stand with the usurper.
I don't understand what this is saying. I'm gonna click it. Knife in the heart? Balin is the only son who still lives.
You've been turned by Harrowmont's slanders already. I should have known no soul in Orzammar would be neutral.
Wait, I didn't know what that was meaning. What must I do to prove my good intentions?
Harrowmont has engaged in a campaign of bribery and coercion to ensure that every house serves him. But if a neutral party, a stranger, were to approach certain key members, perhaps with irrefutable evidence of Harrowmont's deception.
Irrefutable evidence? Which I suppose you have?
I'm certain my Lord Prince would show his gratitude.
What kind of evidence?
Harrowmont promised the same portion of his estate to two different Deshers, Lady Dace and Lord Helmy. Harrowmont can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harrowmont gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes.
Where did you get these notes?
That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty.
Isn't there someone you could report him to?
Normally, the Shapers would handle this sort of accusation. They are the scholars who manage our laws, histories, and genealogies. They are the final arbiters of all disputes in Orzammar. Unfortunately, the Shaper of Memories is the most important among them, and his grandfather was Lord Harrowmont's aunt's first cousin. Obviously, we cannot expect him to offer an unbiased opinion.
He'd hold a distant relative over his duty?
I guess I can't expect you surfacers to understand the importance of family in Orzammar. The Shaper is biased, and if you want Prince Balin's help, you'll have to show where your loyalties lie. Will you do it?
I'll have to think about this.
Don't expect this offer to last. If my prince hears you swore allegiance to his enemy, he won't be so friendly next time. I will be here if you change your mind.
Who do we go with? I mean...
The assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Oh, I'm gonna enter quietly, alright.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the service trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bandalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough. The assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
Good old politics. Nothing getting done. Hello, Cymbeline Stewart.
Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the assembly of the clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
You don't recognize a Grey Warden?
Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
But a blight is coming.
Troubling, but it will still seem distant compared to the empty throne. The Assembly is blind to all else.
Does the city not care? The world is about to end.
This is their world, and it ended when Endron died.
Is there any way I can break this stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times.
I've noticed.
Dulin Verender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the Assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can actually accept both of their quests at this moment. And like, that'll open up some extra stuff. Dulin? Hi.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture.
Vartag wants me to show people that Harrowmont is a cheat.
That you spoke to him even after our discussion is not reassuring. So have you decided to earn my lord's trust, or will you throw your lot in with the snakes?
I still haven't decided.
Do not tarry. Proving starts this afternoon.
I don't know. I don't think she really... She doesn't really know. She doesn't really know who to trust here. I mean, outward appearance-wise, it does seem like Harrowmont is the better choice.
Who would dare take from the memories?
What's going on?
Warden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dusttown. They couldn't know the value.
Thief in the House of Learning. Okay. We should have a lot of codex entries in here. We do. Okay, good. Orta?
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Ortan Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Ortan, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Ortan, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I love the name of Ortan Tig. It's got a nice ring to it. I'm a Grey Warden. I'm not afraid of the deep roads.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Lost to the memories. Alright, we got a book here. 75, the Legion of Steel. Paragon Caridin vanished in the 11th year of the reign of King Valtor, and with the Paragon, the entire process for golem manufacture was lost. Expeditions were sent into the deep roads to track him, but the Darkspawn drove them all back. Finally, in the 2nd year of the reign of Queen Getha, 126 golems, the entire Legion of Steel, were sent to recover the Paragon. None returned. The Shaper of Golems refused to support any further attempts to find Caridin, and the Paragon was officially declared dead. The Shaper now recovered from the loss of an entire legion of golems. Never recovered from the loss. It never again allowed an all-golem regiment in the Deep Roads. Do you guys still have access to some golems? I don't think they do. Shaper.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
Zebor. How do you know who I am?
The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you.
I would like your permission to open a chantry here.
That is an odd request, especially for one so new to our city.
Oh, I come on behalf of Brother Burkle, a cleric of Redcliffe.
I thought so. This is not the first time he's made this plea. My answer to Brother Burkle hasn't changed. So I ask you the same. On what basis would you have me insult the ancestors and overturn 2,000 years of tradition?
What harm would it do to let him preach?
He seems a charitable man, but that is a thin thread on which to tie Orzammar's traditions. Very well, he may hold a prayer meeting as he requested, if not build a new temple to his god. At least the words would come from one of our own. Now, is there anything more?
Can you tell me more of Orzammar's history?
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridin, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridin's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
Golems like this one?
Yes. We have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery.
I mean, I'll take some money. You can't have them, but... Where is Kal Sharok?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Sharok is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Let's talk basic Orzammar again.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
What does the Shaper of Memories do?
The Shaperate guards Orzammar's knowledge. We have preserved in Lyrium all of the records of Dwarven history. The memories record all. They are how we know to which family a child owes life, how we trace lost Tigs. They ensure we forget nothing of our past, good or bad.
Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
What's the difference between an ancestor and a paragon?
All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to paragon. A paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name.
Are there any paragons in Orzammar now?
There is one paragon of this generation, a woman named Branka. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status.
Where is she now?
She went into the deep roads 2 years ago seeking out secrets of the ancient smiths. She never returned.
I should go.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Oh, it's gonna have a significance, don't worry. Okay. Let's just describe. Orta, scribe. Got a whole bunch of books back here.
Yes.
Orzammar politics. As dangerous as it is to mistake a dwarf caste, it is far more deadly to mistake his alliances. Among the noble houses of Orzammar, everyone in the city is allied with someone, whether by blood or by word. The nobles do not engage directly in commerce themselves, as that is the domain of the merchant caste, but they do serve as patrons. They invest in shops or in artisans' works, and in turn reap a share of the profits as well as a measure of the credit. Merchants and warriors alike benefit from the service of a prestigious patron. The relative power of each house is ever-changing. It is usually safe to assume that whichever noble house holds the throne is at the top of the heap, but below that, things grow into a tangled mess. Houses ally with one another by marriage. They earn rank and prestige when combatants loyal to them, or from their own bloodlines, win provings. They earn it when artisans they patronize become sought after or well regarded, or when the merchants they invest in become successful. The degrees of power that these achievements confer is so murky, even to the dwarves, that it is unusual for nobles to challenge each other to provings over whose smith forges better built buckles. Better built buckles. It's alliteration. Or whose servants have the best manners. Nor is it out of the ordinary to find two merchants arguing over whose noble patron has won the most acclaim. For the rank of the patron is the rank of the client. Nowhere is this more apparent than in the assembly, where the Deshers, representatives of each noble house, meet. Although the king technically rules Orzammar, kings are elected by the assembly, and so each king must work constantly to maintain the support of the Deshers. Kings who prove unpopular find their heirs deemed unacceptable to inherit the throne. Power then passes on to another house. Okay, so so Prince Balin doesn't have like blood right to rule or anything like that. Oh, I missed this book. Deep Roads. There isn't a dwarf alive who remembers the deep roads as they once were. They were the network of tunnels that joined the Taigs together. To be honest, it isn't even right to give them such a simple term as tunnels. They are works of art, with centuries of planning demonstrated in the geometry of their walls, with the statues of the paragons that watch over travelers, with the flow of lava that keeps the deep roads lit and warm. The cloud gazers up on the surface talk of the imperial highway built by the magistrates of old, a raised walkway that crossed thousands of miles, something that could only have been built by magic. Perhaps it is comparable to the deep roads, although we dwarves didn't need magic. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. The Darkspawn rule the deep roads now. When Orzammar sealed off the entrances to the deep roads, abandoning everything that lay out there, we handed over the kingdom that was to those black bastards. Oh geez, forever. To think that there are Genlocks crawling over Baunamar now, tearing down our statues or defiling our greatest works. Corruption covers everything we built out there. Every dwarf who goes out and comes back says that it gets worse with each passing year. The foulness spread a little further. And the cloud gazers think the Darkspawn are gone just because they aren't spilling out into the surface? One day, when Orzammar is gone for good, they'll find out differently. Those Darkspawn won't have anywhere else to go but up, and they'll do it. The surface folk will have themselves a blight that will never end. Damn. That's depressing. How'd I miss that book? Oh my god, I'm missing everything. In praise of the humble Nug. I once served a human some Nug, and he proclaimed that it was like eating an unholy union of pork and hare. The idea disturbed him so much that he declined to finish his serving, and made himself content with some stale bread. Of course, this only goes to show that surfacers, human or otherwise, have tragically unrefined palates. The nug is surely the most delicious animal I have ever tasted. Only a dead man would not salivate at the thought of a tender morsel of roast nug melting in their mouth. The Paragon Varen, although his house has fallen, shall always be remembered for discovering the wonders of nug flesh. Admittedly, it was discovered only out of desperation when he was separated from his legion and lost in the deep roads for a week, but we won't hold that against the good Paragon. While nug pancakes and nuggets, my own children love these, are the nug dishes one encounters most often, nug could be prepared in other interesting and elegant ways. The late King Ansgar Iduken adored nug seared on a hot metal plate and finished in the oven, and dressed in a cream sauce flavored with deep mushrooms. You must be careful when using the mushrooms from the deep roads, because they often grow close to darkspawn bodies. They say that this is what gives them their unique flavor and intoxicating scent, but it also means that consuming too many of them may result in curious afflictions of the mind. Yeah, you might get blighted. Blight yourself. What else we got?
And I'm off.
Come on.
All right.
Legion of the Dead. The Legion accepts all. Oh, they got a little saying. Yes, Stone's greetings, friend. You will fight ceaselessly in the Legion of the Legion of the Dead. I almost said the Dark Brotherhood. The Legion accepts all. So I was told by one of the Legionnaires himself, a dwarf who waited quietly at the entrance to the deep roads for the rest of his unit to assemble. They gathered slowly, each equipped with heavy armor and fine weapons, each painted with grim tattoos applied at their funerals the night previous. For this is the nature of the Legion. They are all dead. Any dwarf may join the Legion, so long as he is willing to give up everything he has. Their funeral rites are somber. A final goodbye is said to family and loved ones. Any material goods are dispersed to heirs, and last words are said. And then it is done. The new Legionnaire marches out into the deep roads, never to return. The Legion fights against the Darkspawn to the last, striking one final blow against the monsters that have claimed so much of their homeland. Many join the Legion to clear their slate. Criminals join to avoid punishment. The dishonored join so that their houses and families need not suffer on their behalf. The bankrupt join so their debts might be forgiven. A very few join for a last chance at glory, but the Legion takes them too. This group hopes to reach the fabled fortress of Baunamar, once the Legion's home, associated with the greatest of their paragon. Baunamar is a holy place. Its loss, the last great blow against the Dwarven kingdoms, and its recapture would be a glorious signal to all Orzammar. But capture it or no, all of these warriors would die in the deep roads. It is a sombering thought, and I now know why the dwarves say the Legion's charge is the battlefield's most frightening sight. They have nothing left to lose. Yeah, the Legion of the Dead is cool. Another book here, Dwarven Faith. The Chant of Light is almost never heard in the halls of Orzammar. This is hardly surprising, for unlike the elves who were literally abandoned by their gods, or the Deventers who worshipped dragons, the dwarves have no gods at all. Even the concept of worship is foreign in Orzammar. Instead, the dwarves seem to venerate the stone, a name they give to the earth itself. This seems practical for people living underground, if perhaps a bit unimaginative. For guidance in spiritual matters, they turn to their ancestors. These ancestors, who are said to have returned to the stone, communicate their wishes to the living via brutal trials by combat called provings. The ancestors' collective wisdom is maintained by the Shaperit, which can apparently store records in Lyrium itself, which is really cool. Set above the ancestors, above even kings, are the Paragons, dwarves who have achieved such greatness that they are elevated almost to godhood. These are the great figures holding up the hallway that leads from the surface, the first glimpse of Orzammar that outsiders see. Wall of Memories.
Yes.
Orzammar has carved a legacy from the stone, but history is more than the comings and goings that fill the streets. These caverns are old cuts. We've read that one. The blessing of the Shaper is given only to those who walk with the stone. It is a path that cuts deep, and the road is far from secure. But those who desire to work in memory must first honor it. Document the stone, protect her, and present a new history to the memories. Only then will the blessing of the Shaper be upon you. So, this has been on my mind almost the entire episode. And, you know, reading all this lore, basically, and seeing how much lore there is and how many cool, like, little side games, or even main games there could have been in this franchise, in this setting. And it just makes me think, that maybe the Veilguard, and maybe this isn't like a revolutionary thought for a lot of you, the Veilguard just isn't the direction they should have taken. And maybe not even just the Veilguard. As much as I did enjoy Inquisition, maybe they shouldn't have gone for that sort of heady, epic, fantasy, end of the world kind of thing. I know that's what this game is. But even though that's what this game is, it's on not necessarily a small scale, but on a local, regional scale, right? It's Ferelden. It's not the world. When you get the Inquisition, it starts to get, you know, it starts to get rid of the mysteries, right? You start, the Veilguard especially does it, but you start getting rid of the mysteries a little bit with the Veilguard or the Inquisition, and it's more of a world spanning thing, which is probably why they decided to do all the open world stuff. So for the most part, Inquisition's fine, but the Veilguard in particular, you know, it just takes so many of the mysteries of the setting and just, in a lot of ways, maybe not in a literal sense, but very unceremoniously reveals them. So there's not mystery behind it anymore. You know, the dwarves and the titans, that mystery's gone. The elves and their gods, that mystery's gone. The archdemon and the old gods, that mystery's gone. You know, so much of like the actual mystery of the world is just gone now. And I do wonder if that's going to make it really difficult, if they ever decide to make another game in this setting, really difficult to sort of keep people's interest in the lore anymore. Because how can you go back to like there being a lot of mysteries in the world, in the setting, when you've already revealed them all? I guess you'd have to develop new mysteries, but like, it's a bit sad, right? I don't know. I just wish, you know, instead of trying to make I know they had to continue with the Dreadwolf storyline, but maybe they didn't have to do it right then. Maybe they could have taken some time and made like a little side game. I think the Veilguard and the way that it was made, the mechanics and all that stuff, and the type of RPG, if you want to call it that, it might have made like a really good spin-off game set in, you know, a smaller area. And I think they would have thrived a lot better doing that. Oh well, it's no use crying over spilt milk, I guess. Traditional dwarven folk songs. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wiggles his ears. You catch the Nug, he slips away. Nug gets to live another day. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wiggles his toes. You hook the Nug, he slips away. Now the Nug runs off to play. Nug sits in the mud. Nug wiggles his nose. You tickle the Nug, he laughs away. Now the Nug sits on my plate. Nug pancakes. A well-loved dwarven nursery rhyme. Very nice. Zevran?
This won't take long.
Okay. Won't take long, my butt. Alright, well, we got a lot of XP from all the codexes, so that's good. Alright, and I think we're gonna side with Harrowmont. Well, I don't know, like, here's the thing about Balin. I am sort of... I'm trying to get rid of like what I know as the player and just what has been said. I mean, Harrowmont, the thing about Harrowmont, guys, he like followed me Which is a little weird. Right? That's a little strange that he came in to check to see what I was doing. I don't know, guys. Well, he's not here anymore, which is interesting. Zevran seemed to want Balin, the side with Balin. So maybe we should side with Balin too. Although Wynn, okay, Wynn seemed against it, but not that against it. She just had questions. I mean, if he is trying to cheat them, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? Oh, this is tough. I think she'd side with Harrowmont. I think she does think he's that
So this is the seat of the king. Except he isn't sitting there at the moment, I suppose.
Nice. This is the Royal Palace. I don't think we went in here. But yeah, I think yeah, I think she would see Balin as just too cruel to really trust him. Oh, Jesus. What's going on here?
As you like. Nice try.
Shale, do you have like go and bellow? Good sweep there. Okay. Everyone on you now. Why did you switch to your sword? Switch back. And go ahead and do arrow slaying here. Nice. Big hit.
Take that.
Alright, everyone on him now. Good. And now everyone on them. He's running away. Get him. Tunneling thief. Really unfortunate that they...
What's going on? By the ancestors. Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act.
I sure did.
I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
I guess so. No notes or anything like that. Oh, I can't go in there. I can go this way though. There's a chest. Oh, there's no way he can. There's no way he's gonna unlock this. Yeah. Yep, I knew it. Here we go. Oh, another phylactery. Okay, we want to save it. Let's try it. Many of King Indrin's belongings have been rushed into storage, including trophies of his long reign. Among the boxes is a small glass phylactery. Continue. The area is unnaturally cold. Dark shapes swirl around a slip of paper within the vial. Take it. The glass fractures at your touch.
Yes.
Zevran, move back here. Okay, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure you do what you can here. I want you to go ahead and regeneration on him. And then we're gonna do this too. Okay. Heal him.
Killing yourself without dignity, no? Shame.
Heal him.
I hope I don't get blood up.
Group heal.
Over me again.
Regular heal.
You will squish that.
Go ahead and have a lyrium potion. Okay, can you... That's not gonna work against him, right? No, he's immune to that. Gonna do Flurry. You, go ahead and do one of these. Probably want to do this on him again. Heal.
We must have victory.
This is getting kind of tough. Do Life Ward on him.
I will fight if I must.
Not enough.
Oh, we got paralyzed. That was good. How long does that Life Ward last? Was it already gone? Oh shit, that didn't last like at all. I thought it was gonna last longer. Okay.
Watch out.
Might be almost time to start kiting. Regeneration on him. Damn it.
Not bad.
Okay. You, Deadly Strike. Move away.
If you insist. Quick.
Haha. You. Heal Zevran.
Slay them all.
Go around in circles here. Oh yeah. Haha. Okay. Lyrium Potion.
Now this
Okay, keep going. Another Lyrium Potion.
I shall do so.
We can do Life Ward on him.
nice try.
Close. Nagale. I love this game.
Another heal. Damn it, we need to move. Oh no. Heal him.
Look, close to fight.
Ooh, that was close. We got him. Phew.
Look, I was chipped in that fight.
You're good, man. You're good. You did take an injury, but a torn jugular on a golem, that's kind of intense. Alright, so third Revenant. This one has a Tevinter Shield. 2 greater health poultices. Nice, 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 nice. Scrap of paper. Alright, this is the blessing of the second Corpse Walker. Cast from your host, may you find no purchase on mortal ground. Bound by your true name, as we are sworn to do. Nathamus Bigal. Revenant and perversion of a fine daughter. No more will you test the veil, nor reach the fade to escape. Andraste hold you, demon, and bind your rage for eternity. Okay. Is he good? Alright, anything in here? This is the throne of Orzammar. Very uncomfortable look. You need some cushions on that thing. Alright, cool. This is presumably where Balin's hanging out?
No one enters the prince's estate without an invitation.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's go talk to Harrowmont. We're gonna do the proving.
Legion of the Dead Warriors secretly wear Prince Balin's colors.
Home, House Iduken, Shield of Orzammar. The Assembly has never named a Paragon with so little disagreement as there was for Paragon Iduken. No naysayers, only a single abstention. His worthiness was unquestionable, his favor with the ancestors clear. But family rumor says that the man himself was deeply troubled, prone to fits of melancholy and self-doubt, never satisfied with his great achievement in protecting Orzammar. He died cursing that he had not managed to save the outlying Tigers. Before he rose to Paragon, he was of little note. The memories tell us that he never entered a single proving, never sought to elevate his place among the warrior caste. He spent most of his years prior to the First Blight fighting skirmishes in the deep roads, keeping them free from surface bandits, content to live quietly with his wife and daughters. When the Blight began, it caught Orzammar in the midst of a vicious inter-house war. Most of the warrior caste was caught up in the feuding, for as word of attacks poured in, each great house demanded that the army be sent to defend their Taig, and no house would agree to sacrifice their own holdings for the safety of any others. The assembly was so utterly tied up with the infighting that the Darkspawn spread unchecked to the gates of Orzammar herself. In the chaos, Idukan grudgingly took command of the armies. He enlisted the aid of the mining caste to collapse overrun passages, called upon the smith caste to supply them with arms, and bypassed the assembly and the nobles entirely. With his leadership, Orzammar was saved from annihilation. For his insubordination, he was made Paragon, yet he always considered it a defeat.
Warriors behind him.
Idukan's pretty cool.
Lord Harrowmont is the voice.
Alright, buddy, I've decided to work with you.
Do you see how things lie, Warden? Lord Harrowmont cannot trust you unproven, but he welcomes a good faith gesture.
Tell me about the provings.
The provings are how our ancestors show their judgment, pitting body against body in a ring of scared stone. Everyone in Orzammar accepts that judgment.
Who is fighting for Balin today?
The usual. A couple of Idukans, some Gavorns. He has many men lined up, but not all of them are top-ranking. Piotan Idukan and Wojciech Ivo are his best. They're both unpredictable, and some of the best fighters Orzammar has seen.
How well do you know Lord Harrowmont?
I served under General Harrowmont for 3 years. Under his command, every dwarven life is important. He would not waste even a single soldier. He's the king Orzammar needs, especially in a blight. Balin would call any fight a victory so long as he remains standing.
What did you ask me to do again?
Balin is hosting a proving tournament to honor his father's memory, but he somehow scared off most of Lord Harrowmont's fighters. If you can enter as Harrowmont's champion, you would prove your dedication well.
I'll enter the provings and see why the others withdrew.
Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the Proving Master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Okay. Sounds like a plan to me. I think part of the struggle she's had choosing Harrowmont is Balin.
2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branka didn't go alone, Ogren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat?
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman.
What's that about?
Can you believe it? Ogren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled.
Who is Ogren?
Ogren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branka. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino.
What happened?
All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of smiths would return safely from the deep roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Oghren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Branka's honor. Then Oghren starts screaming and runs him through.
Wasn't the duel to first blood?
It was a huge scandal. Oghren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled.
Actually, don't know if I ever knew this. Why does Oghren care so much about Branka?
She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him.
Branka was married to that drunk?
Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith, and Oghren was one of the best warriors of his generation.
Huh. Why did she go into the deep roads?
Chasing some old treasure. She was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn.
Probably true.
She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her.
How did she become a paragon?
She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly a third. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branka, Oghren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name.
What were you guys arguing about?
It's been 2 years since Branka left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Oghren wants to keep risking lives searching.
I should leave before you start complaining about me too.
If you see any guardsmen, tell them Oghren was at it again.
I won't. Oh, another thing up here. Codex updated, key to the city. It is agreed that no rules of procedure were explicitly broken, but a 5-day filibuster is nonetheless worthy of censure. Division of House Gorismote property was deliberated for a full session, and forfeiture of the southern estate deemed a necessity, since the birth of young Cade necessitates his elevation to noble status, and it is unthinkable for a noble's family to live in the slums. It is the responsibility of the father to accommodate the placement of his family. It is not possible to simply generate new space in the Diamond Quarter without compromising Tig's structural integrity. That's a good point. Lord Dace's comment that if Lord Gorismote didn't want a new heir, he shouldn't have slummed for a concubine was indeed inappropriate, but the proper procedure for resolution through proving was followed. Both parties agreed to accept his retraction, and that matter is considered separate and closed. The decision of the Assembly regarding the placement of the Duncote clan stands. Yeah, I guess space is a limited resource in Orzammar, I bet, huh?
So, I've been hearing.
Okay, let's go talk to the Chantry dude. And I guess we'll talk to her too, tell her about her father's wishes. Hey, buddy.
Andraste teaches that patience is the child of wisdom, but I'm eager to hear if you've seen the Shaper.
He agreed to let you hold prayer meetings.
Oh, praise the Maker! You truly walk in the light, friend. I already found a convert among the merchants who offered his shop as a temporary chantry. It's just by the tapsters. Please, come to our first service.
I probably won't. Quest completed? Hey, Dagna.
You're back? But it takes 2 weeks and 4 days minimum to make the journey to the Circle Tower.
I don't even know that. That's quite impressive.
Thank you, great lady. But am I right in guessing you haven't left Orzammar yet?
It was a little weird that you don't know that, Win, because we literally just made that journey, didn't we? Oh no, we came from Denerim. Didn't we? Or did we not? I don't remember. No, we didn't. We came from the tower. Why are you so interested in magic anyway?
Here in Orzammar, we're surrounded by stone and tradition and more stone. Nothing ever changes. But to break every natural law by thinking about it, to dream and walk in a realm where everything you think comes true, I can't imagine anything more wonderful.
God, she would have been over the moon to have Harding's power, right? I'm not leaving Orzammar until this election is resolved.
Well, I've waited 19 years. Another month won't kill me.
There you go, 19. I don't know if that's like... I mean, if they're anything like humans, that she's an adult. It's her choice. I'll tell her that her father doesn't want her to go, but I won't discourage her.
I have noticed that the Painted Elf seeks the attention of the Grey Warden.
He certainly does.
I watched many such couplings during the time I spent immobile in Honleith. Or I should say I was forced to watch. You do know that this usually ends in reproduction. I've seen it many times, indeed.
Oh, that is not such a terrible thought. Creating a new life can be a great deal of fun.
So you say. I have no idea how a golem is created, but I doubt I shall be creating one anytime soon.
Just as well, I imagine. Any lover of yours would no doubt be quickly reduced to a puddle of bruises.
So you see me winning the affection of another golem, do you? Most golems are slaves to whomever holds their control rod.
Funny. It works exactly the same way for us as well.
Very, very good writing. Okay. So we're here in the Proving Grounds, and I think now is a good time as any to end the episode. In the next episode, we'll take on the Proving Tournament thing and see where we go from there. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.